Welcome to the Wednesday night SmackDown era. Oh yes.
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and then open the make.
What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your first of hopefully many Wednesday night SmackDown reviews. And yes, I know this is going to be met with a lot of whatever, because in the States, you guys are getting it on Thursday. They even refer to it as Thursday Night SmackDown, but we're getting it on Wednesday on Sportsnet 360 because that's the day that they're showing it. They show it in direct competition with NXT, which is kind of funny. I record both. I have a PVR. It's wonderful. NXT is great. NXT was great tonight. They started on a new show tonight. NXT started on their new night of Wednesday as well. I watched the show. It was great. Kid versus Finn Balor was great. Adrian versus Sami Zayn, the rematch from our Evolution, was great. The Divas tag match was great. Bull Dempsey and Baron Corbin was a little disappointing. I'm not going to lie. Overall, great show. Great show. But I've told you, I'm not reviewing NXT on this channel because it's its own thing. Maybe after WrestleMania, or maybe when they confirm the rumors that the NXT title is going to be defended at WrestleMania, then obviously NXT will have to become part of Road Signs, and then I will start reviewing NXT. But until that point, no. I told you guys I was going to do SmackDown reviews. I'm glad I did, because this show was fucking great. It won't be every week. SmackDown reviews will happen on a week where I'm not doing Ask the Phoenix and I'm not doing Tackle with OKFabe, who coincidentally put out the second episode of his OKFabe's Random Wrestling podcast, which you should all really go over to his channel and check out because it's really good. I think he's got the guys from the In the Ropes show with him on his podcast. It's really good. I haven't listened to all of it. I'm about 2/3 the way done, but you guys that have been following this channel, you know that Connor's a funny guy. His podcast is great. His guests are great. And we move on. The show starts. We have a new entrance video. It's the same entrance song for SmackDown, but the entrance video is different. It's obviously been cleaned up and made a little flashier. The SmackDown logo isn't entirely new, but they've cleaned it up and they've changed the look of it, if that makes sense. And obviously we see the new announce team as Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and Byron Saxton, who would eventually join the commentary team, but he starts off in the ring and introduces Daniel Bryan. And my excitement goes like this. Daniel Bryan comes in to be interviewed by Byron Saxton in the ring. I'm back, blah, 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 pandering to the fans, blah, blah, blah. When he's done pandering, we go to the now well overplayed footage of him getting tombstoned by Kane over and over and over again, desperately trying to develop sympathy and storyline for somebody who hasn't been there in 8 months. After the video, we go back to the ring. He tells more of his sob story. He puts a little bit of a twist on it, I will admit. Starts talking about Kane and Team Hell No, and how Kane was his brother, and how Kane betrayed him, and it's all very sad and soap opera-ish and whatnot. Kane comes out, but not just Kane. The Authorities entrance video, but basically Triple H's music, the King of Kings, Bow Down to the King, Motorhead hits. It's weird seeing Kane come out to Triple H's music, I will admit, that was kind of weird. But he comes out with the whole Authority. Obviously Stephanie McMahon's not there, but Triple H, Big Show, Seth Rollins, J&J Security are all with Kane on his way to the ring. And there's poor Daniel Bryan with his matty hair and his underdog story, and oh my god, how will he ever beat these odds? We come back from the break. We start the match. The match starts really slow with slow kicks and slow punches from Daniel Bryan. Gets Kane on all fours quickly because, of course, Kane has to bow down to Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan has to look strong. When he's on all fours, he gets a punt from Daniel Bryan, kind of Randy Orton-esque, but we're not going to really go there. Running drop kick to Kane's knee is really nice, I will admit. Kane turns around and mauls Bryan in the corner, and here's where we go for the next little bit. I don't give Kane a lot of credit. I think Kane has long overstayed his welcome in the WWE, but the psychological story for the next little while. Oh, I forgot to mention something. I'm sorry. When Daniel Bryan was in the middle of telling his sob story, the thing that made me laugh the most was how many doctors told him he should never be in the ring again, and he's told all of them that he's not going to listen to them and he's going to go back in the ring. Now, in the unbelievable story of Daniel Bryan, this is the nail on the head, is it not? Especially after the CM Punk controversy that's been kicking up recently. Do you really think WWE is going to let anybody do anything against doctor's orders? Let alone this guy that they're going to bullshit push to Mania. So, no, I laugh. But in this match, we have Kane working over psychology on Daniel Bryan's head, shoulders, and neck. Because we have Kane mauling Bryan in the corner, we have an uppercut and 2 neck breakers in a row working the neck. We have a neck vice and a boot to the head, a DDT, a near fall, and a seated neck vice, and a kick to the head. Now, Bryan tries to tackle him into the corner. He hits an uppercut to the throat, which is good. Now, here's where I could start my long tirade about how Daniel Bryan doesn't sell fuck all. Kane tries to set up Daniel Bryan on the ropes for a superplex. He fights out of the superplex position from the top of the rope, which is fine. Babyfaces do that. But you've got a bad neck going in. You're supposedly wrestling against doctor's orders. Because of this neck, you've taken multiple neck breakers, uppercuts, neck vices, chokes, boots to the head, DDTs, and every other possible thing has possibly happened to your head and neck and spine. The fact that he fought out of this superplex with nothing but headbutts is bullshit. In every way, shape, and form. Anyways, after he fights out of the superplex, for reasons, he hits top rope crossbody and a clothesline on Kane. And then we get the silly Bryan kicks. Now, I'm not saying that Daniel Bryan is not skilled with his feet, because he is. But the silly Bryan kicks are where he basically has somebody standing or kneeling in the ring with their chest out, with their head up, with their hands at their sides. Basically, they have to be in a position that says, please kick me. Because he takes one kick one way and pauses, and he takes another kick the other way and pauses, and takes another kick the other way and pauses. Now, storyline-wise, let's analyze that for a second. Now, logically, if you're able to think logically while you're taking all these kicks to the chest, your thought pattern is, I have to roll out, I have to get away, I have to recollect myself, whatever. Even if you're not thinking logically at that point, if you're exhausted, your mental powers aren't what they're supposed to be, your instincts will kick in. You will at least curl up, raise your arms, try to roll to one side or the other, or at least fall down. But no. What we have to do is we have to get everybody in the entire WWE roster to sit up there, chest out, head up. Yes, Daniel Bryan, you suck enough cock. Please kick me in the chest. That is what I call the silly Daniel Bryan kicks. Because they make no sense. And not only that, Daniel Bryan gets a near fall off the silly Daniel Bryan kicks. Oh, yes. Bryan counters a chokeslam into a sloppy looking yes lock. Thankfully, it doesn't last very long. The Authority comes in to make the save. There's a beatdown. Daniel Bryan wins, yay, by disqualification, boo. And then he is immediately saved from a further beatdown by much bigger superstars in Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. Triple H announces that the main event tonight will be a 6-man tag. Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan versus Rollins, Show, and Kane. Means we're going to see more Daniel Bryan. At least this was relatively painless. We have a replay of the Macho Man video that we saw on Raw. I don't need to go over it once again. Macho Man finally going into the Hall of Fame. Fantastic. We have a Wyatt promo talking more about the Royal Rumble. He talks about the fact that he is poison and how society wants to suppress his poison, but when he wins the Royal Rumble, it'll be too late to run. So everybody needs to accept their fate and follow the buzzards. Obviously, I'm not doing that nearly the credit it deserves. Fantastic promo. I will say, go to Bali Rules, rewatch SmackDown, or watch it, for those of you that are in the States and are going to see it tomorrow. But it's a great promo. You guys know that I can't do a Bray Wyatt promo justice. None of us can. Some of you try, but I like to hit on the main points and some of the poetic high points of the Bray Wyatt promos for you guys, so you guys get an idea, so you guys can go and check it out for yourself, because that's really what you should do. Usos and Naomi versus Miz down, Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox wins the outfit contest between her and Naomi, because Naomi's Naomi's outfit looks like she's either wearing... It kind of looks like a bathing suit, but it looks like she's wearing more than one, so it looks awkward. And it looks like it was either made out of a recycled tire or many, many, many recycled condoms. Oh, yes. And Alicia Fox is just... Neither one of them are super stellar, but Alicia Fox is better looking than Naomi, let's be real. I know, everybody likes the big ass. Well... go watch some Rikishi videos, I really don't know what to tell you. It's announced that the Usos versus Miz and Mizdow will be for the title at the Rumble, which I have no problem with. Hopefully my boys get the belts back that were stolen from them. Jimmy and the Miz trade off a couple of hard-running elbows to start the match, and it's great. Jay gets clotheslined out of the ring. Sandow gets a 2-second tag from the Miz because the Miz actually does tag him in when the crowd is cheering him, but then Alicia Fox immediately tags us back, and she's in. Naomi botches a head scissor badly, and then hits a crossbody that is okay. Jay eats Miz's boot and gets stomped for a while. King, who has been making a lot of really bad jokes this episode of SmackDown, comes up with one really good one when they're talking about the Miz and his ego. Says, Miz fell in love with himself at an early age and has always remained faithful. I like that. Cheers, JR. Or sorry, cheers to the King for pulling out one of his oldie but a goodie type jokes. Miz with multiple kicks to Jay's chest. A double clothesline has Miz and Jay down on the mat. Jimmy hits a kick, I can speak, I swear. A kick, an uppercut, and a Samoan drop on the Miz. Naomi bumblefucks around the ring for some reason, doing what I'm not sure. Miz uses Mizdow, basically pulls Mizdow in front of a super kick so that he doesn't have to take it himself, hits a skull-crushing finale on Jimmy, and the right team wins. Oh, friggin' yes. Renee is in the back with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' promo, for those of you that don't like Roman Reigns, thankfully was kept short and sweet. He talks about the six-man tonight, talks about how Ambrose has always been his brother, how he has no problem with Daniel Bryan, and they're all unified by the fact that they hate the Authority, but when the Rumble comes, it's one versus all, which is fine, because not only is it true for the Rumble, it also helps his merch, and everybody wins. Paul Heyman comes out, and it's one of those Paul Heymans on SmackDown, so we know Brock Lesnar isn't. They replay the Raw contract signing and how Rollins was left standing tall over Cena and Lesnar, which made me smile. He says, I'm afraid going into the Rumble, Brock usually does what Brock wants, and he's happy to do what Brock wants. He wanted to take the streak, so he did. He wanted to destroy Cena, so he did. He wanted the title, so he has it. Now Brock Lesnar is pissed off, and now what he wants is to destroy Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins comes out, and I gotta say, in the past couple of days, the repertoire between Rollins and Paul Heyman on the microphone has been fantastic. Rollins says, I'm sick of people saying that I should walk on eggshells around Brock Lesnar. I'm sick of hearing that I hide behind the Authority. I'm sick of hearing that I hide behind J&J Security. I'm not scared of Brock Lesnar, and I'm here to cash in my briefcase tonight. Oh, yes. Heyman says, well, you know he's not here, and Rollins says, if I can't curb stomp him, I'll curb stomp you. Heyman says, oh, come on, can't you be original? Everybody that can't get to Brock wants to beat me up, which is kind of true. It doesn't really make you tough at all, does it? And Rollins makes a couple of good points. It doesn't make me tough, it makes me smart. If I take away Brock's one mental asset, he's all brawn, no brains, 300-pound mass of muscle that I can beat easily. Remember that I've stomped him twice, and at Rumble, I'll make it count. Fantastic. And he is about this far into Heyman's face, to the point where Heyman's in the corner. Rollins is in his face to the point that Heyman's basically leaning back on the turnbuckle. It's a great visual, and kudos as they are deserved to the WWE film team because they shot it well. It's very similar to the promo that Cena and Heyman had a while ago. But Heyman has a great retort. He says, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't curb stomp me. Remember, the Authority has lost power once and they could do it again. I've done nothing but gain power since I come back. I gained power through the success of my client, Brock Lesnar. When he beat the streak, I gained power. When he dominated John Cena, I gained power. When he became the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion, I gained power. We have control over that title for as long as we want it. Now, that could mean right now, Lesnar remaining champion. In the future, that could mean that Brock Lesnar will defend a new champion if I tell him that the future is now. Again, it's like the Wyatt thing. I can't really do Paul Heyman's promos justice, but he really hits the metaphor of of Seth Rollins calling himself the undisputed future of the WWE. It gets integrated quite well into the promo. That's the end of the promo, and it's fine. Nikki with Brie in her corner versus Natalya Neidhart with Paige in her corner. Natty starts with an armbar that Nikki breaks quite quickly and responds with an elbow and a snapmare. Natty uses a leg lock that is kind of a little... I don't want to say it was a botch, because it wasn't, but it was clumsy looking. Nikki gets her up, gets her by the arm, and hits what I can only call a top rope tornado arm breaker, and it looks nice. Anybody that questions me saying that the Bellas have improved leaps and bounds since they've come to the WWE, watch this match and watch out for that maneuver, because it is nice. Nikki, once she's got her down on the mat, uses an almost Alberto Del Rio style cross arm breaker, which looks nice. Natty counters it into a slam eventually, and we get a huge... This is where I will say there was a huge botch, because Nikki's sitting in the ring, and you figure Natty's standing behind her. She's going to run, step over her, hit the ropes, and come back with the low drop kick, which is basically what she did. But instead of hopping over her, she basically stepped on her head, and her head smacked the mat in a way that was either really, really well done because it looked dirty, or it was a botch. And I say it might have been a botch because after her face bounces off the mat in a very uncomfortable, unnatural looking position, Nikki does not let go of her face. Not for the rest of the match, not after the match is over, and not even when they're retreating to the back. I constantly watched her face to see if she had, say, a bloody nose or something like that, but the cameras were off her face most of the time, and when the camera was on her face, the hair was, like, excessively in her face. So I have to believe this was a dirty botch and doesn't look very good for Natty. But after that, there's a spinning clothesline and a near fall. Brie distracts Natty with the belt. Paige slaps Nikki while the referee's not looking. Sharpshooter Natty wins. But both sides are... Both Paige and Natty have problems with the Bellas, which makes sense for them to be a team on wrestling television. Apparently they're also friends in Total Divas, which I really don't care about. But if you follow in-ring action, both of these girls have problems with the Bellas. It makes sense that they would help each other so that each one has somebody else in their corner when they're going into a 2-on-1 advantage. I get it. But in the simplest way I can possibly say it, who's the babyface in the situation? Because Natalya is associated with Tyson Kidd, who's a huge asshole. Paige has been a psycho and was heel for most of her rivalry with AJ, and the Bellas are heels by definition, and everybody's cheating. So Paige is popular, Natty is the quote-unquote veteran of the match, and the Bellas are your quintessential, these are the heels. So, while it doesn't really bother me that much, while I thought the match was great, other than the botch, while I thought Nikki really showed something tonight, I do have to ask the comical, quizzical question of who am I supposed to be cheering for here? It's funny. Big Show cuts a promo, and that's all I really need to say about that. Sin Cara versus Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental Championship, which I find really interesting if you consider what a staple Sin Cara is on NXT with the Lucha Dragons. I could imagine a very interesting scenario where they become, or they are still the NXT Tag Team Champions, and Sin Cara walks onto NXT TV with the Intercontinental Championship. That would be great. I don't, for that matter, know why he doesn't carry the NXT Tag Team Championship belt when he's performing on Raw and SmackDown. I think he should. I think it does good for him. It gives him a little bit of something to brag about, and it represents NXT. But Sin Cara being primarily an NXT star, just him being there on SmackDown represents NXT, so I'm happy with that too. Sin Cara starts the match with 2 quick roll-ups, and both of them get near falls. He follows them up with a pendulum kick, but Wade Barrett respawns with a big boot and some mounted pounding that leads into a headlock. Sin Cara hits a springboard crossbody for a near fall. Wade Barrett hits the Winds of Change and misses the bullhammer. Sin Cara hits the one-armed powerbomb that he uses in NXT. Now, the one-armed powerbomb is an impressive-looking move at the best of times, but you figure, Wade Barrett's kind of got him by the one arm. He picks Wade Barrett up by the one arm and powerbombs him with one arm, hence one-armed powerbomb. Now, that's impressive enough when he's in there with guys on NXT that are roughly his size. To pull off the one-arm powerbomb on a guy the size of Wade Barrett is fucking superb. It's great. It's fantastic. But Sin Cara misses the Swanton Bomb. It's everything I can do to not call it the Swanton Bomb. Just, me being a Hardy mark and such. Although it doesn't hit anything, Sin Cara's Senton Bomb is spectacular looking, but missing it gives the opportunity for Wade Barrett to hit the bull hammer and get the win. Barrett retains his Intercontinental Championship. Great match, great showing by both guys, and I wouldn't mind this happening again at Royal Rumble. I really wouldn't. Or these guys having some interaction in the actual Rumble match, because I think they're both in it. Ambrose cuts a promo about the Rumble. It's kind of a short and sweet type promo. I don't like people telling... He references the Raw and the Shrink very loosely, and basically ends it off with, I don't let people tell me what to do. I do what I want to do, and I do it. I will say, not the best Dean Ambrose promo in the world, but it did the job. It hyped us up for Rumble. It's all good. Now, the Authority versus Bryan, Roman, and Ambrose. Now, when I did this, I recorded SmackDown on my PVR. Like, let's be real. So, when you look at the PVR, you look at the counter on the PVR, you see there's 20... When the bell rings for this match, there's 21 minutes left in the show. Now, this is important. Now, the big hype for this show was the return of Daniel Bryan. And then the big hype from the beginning of the show is Daniel Bryan being in the main event. There's a bunch of other people in the match too, but we really want to see Daniel Bryan. We really missed Daniel Bryan. Right? Am I wrong in that? Like, I didn't particularly. Like, it's cool to see him back. I don't like what he's doing to the roster right now. But the big draw of this match is Daniel Bryan, you would assume, right? Okay, keep that in mind. 21-minute match. Ambrose and Rollins brawl. Ambrose whips Rollins from post to post, and he hits the elbows, and then he hits him in the center of the ring with elbows and knee drops. Roman splashes Seth in the corner and hits a standing suplex, working over Rollins. Hits the standing suplex and then starts working over Rollins' arm a lot. Kane and Roman face off, trading headlocks and tackles, and there's a side slam by Roman and a clothesline by Roman. Daniel Bryan gets tagged in with more silly kicks and an uppercut to Kane. Bryan is triple teamed on the outside. Roman and Dean go out to save his ass, and we go to commercial break. We come back. Ambrose is mudhole stomping Rollins in the ring because he's now the legal man. Double drop kick to the gut, or sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? A double-footed drop kick? Double drop kick to the gut of Rollins, takes him down. Rollins stomps Ambrose in the Tree of Woe, and here we get another, and this is not one that I'm going to pick on, this is one I'm saying for all the right reasons. We get another great bit of psychology. We know that for 2 weeks now, the story of Dean Ambrose has been the injured knee that he injured in the ambulance match with Bray Wyatt. He's been selling it now for a week and a half because he sells. Rollins puts Ambrose in the Tree of Woe and stomps the knee. Rambos pounds on Ambrose while he's in the Tree of Woe. Show comes in, he starts pounding on Ambrose. Show stands up with Rollins, holding him up by the knee in sort of a standing leg lock type of thing, working the knee. Rollins traps Ambrose in the corner, and they triple team him, and he rides a headlock for a long time. Big Show crushes Ambrose in the corner and hits him with a huge elbow drop. Show puts another huge elbow drop specifically on Ambrose's knee, working the knee. Standing leg lock, working the knee. Kane kicks Ambrose in the face and then knee drops him in the knee, working the knee. Rollins super kicks Ambrose. Kane uppercuts Ambrose. Big Show leg sweeps Ambrose from the outside, working the knee. When this happens, Roman comes out, takes out the Big Show for interfering on the outside, and then Rollins takes out Roman for taking out Show. It's all good. The hot tag to Bryan, and we get a little bit of a bullshit fury. One Hurricane Rana on Rollins, and then Kane hits the choke slam on Daniel Bryan. Roman Reigns saved Daniel Bryan's ass from the cover. He puts the yes lock on Kane. Ambrose saves Bryan from pretty much everybody while he's got the yes lock on. Bryan hits a running knee, and the faces win. Bryan came in at the end to get the glory. Now, this might sound petty, but I'm trying to prove a point here. People that mock Roman Reigns mock him because when he was in the Shield, he didn't do much work in the three-man tags, and he would always come in for a couple of seconds at the end, hit the spear, and get the victory. That's the story that people tell. Bryan tagged in this match for a couple of seconds, tagged in at the end for that bullshit fury, and got the credit for the victory. In total, in this 21-minute match, Daniel Bryan was the legal competitor for 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Suck a fuck, Daniel Bryan fans. Triple H comes out and puts a big smile on my face and says, next week on SmackDown, Kane gets his hands on you, Daniel Bryan, one more time, and when you lose your spot in the Rumble. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know that that's not going to happen, but the idea makes me smile. Oh, yes. Anyways, for a rebranded, revamped new SmackDown on a new night and whatever other newness you want to throw in there, WWE did a hell of a job tonight. I mean, I know the people that bullshit SmackDown are already turning the page on that because Daniel Bryan was on the show, which is shit. But this show as a whole was great. Great Divas match. Great Intercontinental Championship match. The tag team match was Naomi's kind of useless. We had some promos from Heyman and Rollins and Wyatt and Ambrose, and we've done a whole bunch of build to the Royal Rumble. Everything's looking good. Daniel Bryan, although he annoyed me several times for the reasons that I've explained here, he didn't do much in the main event, and he got credit for the victory. He didn't do much in the first match, and completely no-sold every bit of awesome psychology that Kane put on him. Even Daniel Bryan wasn't enough to ruin this show for me. This show was fucking fantastic. This show makes me look forward to reviewing SmackDown. Please let me know what you guys think of me doing SmackDown reviews on this channel. As I say, you'll probably only get 2 from me a month because there are other series, Ask the Phoenix and Tackle with OKayfabe, that are so well received, I will never not do them. But you'll probably get at least 2 SmackDown reviews from me a month. So I could really use some feedback on this. I could really use, is there anything different you guys want me to do for the SmackDown reviews, etc.? I mean, they're revamping it. I don't think it's just going to be SmackDown rematches from Raw bullshit like it has been. I think it's going to be good. I have high hopes, shall we say. That's about it for the dawn of the Wednesday night SmackDown era. I've been Spaz Phoenix, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. Please add more questions to my Q&A. It's in, like, 10 days. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.